boys and girls, this is Math Minutes with Mrs. McLean, and today we're going to be working on multiples of 10 using the number line. And I'm showing you a blank number line because if we use a number line that is already created for us, it often isn't exactly what we need. So if we use a blank one, and you can just make this at home on a piece of lined paper, if you will turn it sideways so your lines are like this, you can draw it here, and then your spacing is already for you, so you can make your ticks. So you can make it starting with any number that you need to. So I have created one for us today. That's multiples of 10. So it's increasing by 10. I've started with 0, and I've gone all the way to 210, going by multiples of 10. And I know that I need to start with the multiple of 10 because I noticed that I have a 30, and 30 is a multiple of 10, and we see it, 10, 20, 30. It's a multiple of 10. Well, in order for it to help me, before I get started with my number line, I want to ask myself some questions. What do I know about 3 times 5? 3 groups of 5, or 5 groups of 3. What do I know about those two factors? Well, I know, and I'm pulling from what I already know about my multiplication facts, 3 times 5 is 15. I'm just going to write this over here to the side because it's going to help me as I navigate my multiples of 10 with my number line. So I know 3 times 5 or 5 times 3 is 15. This is 30 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 30. Okay, so we are going to look at this as 5 groups of 30 to help me here. So I'm going to turn this so I can see it a little bit better and write on it a little easier. So if I have 5 groups of 30, that means 30 is going to be in each of my groups. So I'm going to just do this. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 groups of 10. 10, 20, 30. Okay, so here I have one group of 30. All right, so my next group is going to have 30 in it. 10, 20, 30. This is 2 groups of 30. And remember, my goal is to have 5 groups of 30. 10, 20, 30. This is 3 groups of 30. 10, 20, 30. This is 4 groups of 30. 10, 20, 30. Okay, this is 5 groups of 30. So I land at 150. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit better. There we go. So I land at 150. This was 150, and 3 times 5 is 15. How many tens is 150? Let's count our tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. I said let's count our tens, and I counted my tens. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 groups of 10. So I know that I have 15 tens, 15 groups of 10. So if I have 15 tens, how many hundreds are in 15 tens? This might be a question that you ask yourself. How many hundreds are in 15 tens? Well, there's 100 in 15 tens because 10 tens makes 100. So that would mean there's 100. If I decompose these tens, that is 100 plus 50. Okay? So I know that 3 times 5 is 15. So 30 times 5 is 150. Let's look at it with a place value mat. Okay, so I've got my tens, my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. All right? If I know that 3 times 5 is 15, And 30 times 5, because we determined that with our number line, is 150. Let's look at those digits that moved place values in our multiplication when we multiplied by a multiple of 10. So I had 5 ones here, but my 5 is now in the tens place. So this 5 in the tens place represents 50. So 5 times 10 is 50. So 5 gets 10 times larger. Here I have 10 in the tens place, but my 1 in the tens place is now moved to my 1 in the hundreds place. What is 10 times 10? 10 times 10 is 100. So this 1 in the tens place gets 10 times larger when it becomes a 1 in the hundreds place. So as you are working with multiples of 10, I want you to first think about what you know about just the single digits and these factors and how they relate to one another. And then I want you to think about, well, what if it got 10 times larger? Okay, 10 times larger. What is 15 times 10? 15 times 10 is 150. You can use your number line. You can use base 10 blocks. Also, another helpful tool would be to draw a place value chart to see what happens to each of the digits in those numbers. Boys and girls, I hope you find this helpful, using the number line to work on multiples of 10.